The night after Grandfather Walter declared me the primary heir, I couldn't sleep. His words echoed in my head like a curse. Daniel will lead. My victory was written into the Mercer legacy, but in doing so, he had signed my brother Matthew's hatred into permanence. And hatred, when fed by whispers and envy, becomes something dangerous. The Mercer family estate always had cracks, but after the birthday gathering, those cracks turned into fault lines. I felt it at dinners, at Sunday visits, at every family event where smiles had to be painted on like masks. Matthew barely spoke to me. When he did, it was laced with venom. Claire tried to keep peace, but her voice was drowned by Aunt Lydia's constant stirring. I overheard them one evening. I had come back from Father's office later than usual, moving quietly through the hall when I caught Aunt Lydia's hiss. "You can't let him take it, Matthew. You're the oldest. Walter's will hasn't been signed yet. It can still be changed." Matthew's voice was bitter, low. "He worships Daniel. Nothing I do will make him change his mind." Uncle Gerald's voice joined in, smooth as oil. "Then you don't change his mind. You change his circumstances." The three of them fell into silence as if they realized they'd said too much. My heart hammered. I slipped away before they saw me. That was the moment I knew this wasn't just rivalry. They were plotting. Father, Richard, stayed blind to it all. He had an almost stubborn faith in family. "They wouldn't dare betray their own blood," he said when I tried to warn him. Mother, Eleanor, wasn't so naive. She clasped my hand and whispered, "Watch your back, especially around Lydia and Gerald. They've always wanted what we have." Claire was the only one who said aloud what I feared. "They're going to try to ruin you. Don't underestimate them." Weeks passed, and the first strike came. At Father's company, where I had started helping with management, whispers began to spread. They said I was arrogant, reckless with accounts, prone to gambling with investments. Lies, all lies. Yet somehow these rumors spread like wildfire among employees and business partners. I knew exactly where they came from. Uncle Gerald had connections in the corporate world, and Matthew had plenty of spite to fuel the campaign. One evening, Father stormed into my office, a stack of reports in his hand. "Daniel, what is this nonsense about missing funds?" I blinked, confused. "What missing funds?" He slammed the papers down. They were falsified balance sheets, doctored to look like I'd funneled money into private accounts. "I didn't do this," I said immediately, my throat tight. "Someone planted these." But Father's faith in me wavered. I saw it in his eyes. Matthew appeared in the doorway, his expression carefully neutral. "Is everything all right, Father?" It took every ounce of willpower not to leap across the desk and tear that smug look from his face. The rumors grew. By the end of the month, 3 clients had pulled their contracts. Father's board began whispering about removing me from projects. At home, the atmosphere turned toxic. Grandmother Edith pulled me aside one evening, her frail hand clutching mine. "Daniel, dear, maybe you should step back. Let Matthew take a more central role. It would calm things down." Calm things down. That was her way of saying surrender. I refused. The next betrayal came sharper. Claire and I had always been close. She was my anchor. But even she became a target. Matthew and Aunt Lydia began spreading rumors that she was manipulating me, that she was feeding me information to undermine Matthew's chances with the family. They painted her as a schemer, a snake behind my rise. One night, Claire broke down in tears at the dinner table. "Why are they saying these things about me? I've done nothing but support this family." Father tried to calm her, but Matthew only smirked across the table. "Maybe people are finally seeing your true colors." I saw red. I stood, slammed my fists on the table, and shouted, "You're poisoning everything, Matthew! You, Lydia Gerald. You're all snakes in this family's garden." The room fell silent. Grandfather Walter coughed heavily, his frail frame trembling. "Enough! Daniel, sit down. Matthew, enough!" but it wasn't enough. It was only the beginning. The following month was chaos. Uncle Gerald tried to push his way into Father S. company under the pretense of helping during turbulent times. Aunt Lydia began cozying up to Grandmother Edith, convincing her that I was dangerous for the family's stability. Cousin Ryan parroted every accusation Matthew whispered in his ear. The family gatherings became war zones. Every side glance, every muttered word was a shot fired. Through it all, Claire remained my only unwavering ally. She would slip into my room late at night, whispering, "Don't give in. They're scared of you. That's why they're attacking." But I felt the walls closing in. The climax of Part 2 came when Grandfather Walter fell ill. Pneumonia struck him hard, and the entire Mercer clan gathered like vultures around a dying lion. He lay in bed, pale and weak, but his mind was still sharp. I sat by his side, holding his hand. He whispered, "Daniel, do not trust them. Promise me, you'll protect the Mercer name." I promised, and as I did, I felt Matthew's eyes burning into me from across the room. That night, while Grandfather's health hung in the balance, a storm broke out in the house. Voices screamed through the halls. I heard Matthew's roar. "The will isn't signed yet. If he dies tonight, Daniel gets nothing." Aunt Lydia's shrill voice cut in, "We have to act now." I froze outside the study where they argued. The fire crackled inside, illuminating Matthew, Lydia, and Gerald in conspiratorial huddles. Their plan was clear. They wanted to stop Grandfather from finalizing his will, to either delay it until his death or force him to change it. My blood ran cold. This wasn't jealousy anymore. This was a coup. And I knew, standing there in the shadows, that if I didn't fight back, they would destroy me.